I'm Greg Raleigh. I've come here to introduce to you a new concept and a new show that we've created that's going to talk about food choices, going to talk about exercise, going to talk about economic eating. This show will be covering a lot of people that we've met around the country and through our network of professional athletes and professional people. But before we get any further, I want to talk about why this show is so important. The health of many people in America is not getting better, it's actually getting worse, as well as the healthcare costs are going up, not decreasing. And we need to know what we can do right now to reverse that. So this show will attack some of those and will approach some of those issues and give you some basic information that you can apply right now. I've spent over 20 years working with individuals of all ages, from all cultures, improving their health, basically by changing the way we've combined foods and exercise. And so you will hear from many of those people on their success stories. You'll hear from some of those people about what they've learned to do and the highs and lows about trying to eat healthy. This show will we will talk to children, we'll talk to adults, we'll talk to people of all ages about food choices. We will examine, such things as how to reverse diabetes in your children, how to prevent it, how to lose weight or gain weight properly, how to prevent high blood pressure from proper food choices, eating healthy, unhealthy, what are the economics behind it. So we'll be covering a vast array of topics. We will bring a lot of professionals on here from different industries to talk about how eating affects your hair, or it affects your skin, or it affects your teeth. All these are all ideas and concepts that is going on with bad food that's affecting our bodies. So we will be working with people throughout the community. We will be talking to people, bringing people on the show. We will be looking for your feedback on the show to tell us how you applied the information. We'll be having contests on the show to challenge you to go out and put this information to practice. Come back and share with us. This is how we're going to build this show. So as I said, welcome. I'm Greg Raleigh. This show is called It's Your Turn.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back. Now, what we did on the show in past shows, that we had such great feedback from many of our viewers about what the information that was presented to us about erectile dysfunction. So what I decided to do was I went to our previous guest, Dr. Rodney Ellis, and I asked him once again, could you please come back on the show, because many people gave us questions and we don't have the answers, and that's why we have you on the show. Dr. Ellis agreed to. So once again, I want to thank you back, Dr. Ellis, for coming back.
Thank you.
And so now you and I had talked about many subjects before, and this time the interesting thing came up when a lot of men were asking us about belly fat, how it occurs and develops. So walk us through that.
Well, belly fat, obviously, not just for men but for women too, is of great interest to get rid of, obviously. So unfortunately, most of it is genetically determined. That is, if you have excess calories, if you're taking in more calories than you're burning up, it will be obvious, for the most part, the genetics, your genes, that determine where the fat is going to be stored. For some people, it's stored, let's say, in the trunk and in the belly and in the viscera and around the so-called viscera of the body, the organs of the body, and this is called visceral fat. Or it may be stored more in the buttocks, in the legs, and that in turn, indeed, is a problem as well. But interestingly, the fat that's stored in the buttocks, if it's stored there, is not as unhealthy as when it's stored in the belly and around the organs. So obviously it's not good to be fat or to have excess fat anyway, but the genetics are the determinant of that largely. Now, we think that perhaps carbohydrates, that is the starches and the sweets, especially bring up insulin levels. We think that it's possible that likely that insulin, when the insulin levels are high, they tend to indeed cause more deposition of fat around the organs and around the belly. So you want to cut your carbohydrate intake when you want to reduce your belly fat. In addition to which, you want to make sure that you're not on medications that might do it. Now, there are medications such as steroids that people sometimes have to be on, but steroids you want to minimize if at all possible. Your physician should work with you not to have you on steroids, because steroids are known to cause what's called truncal obesity, which means around the belly. And that's just it's not attractive, it's also unhealthy for you. So we strive, in fact, to reduce the belly fat by obviously, first of all, not taking in more calories than your body's burning. That's the simple, obviously, but a difficult way for many people to handle their obesity. They've got to burn up more calories than they're taking in. The importance of taking in more fiber can't be overemphasized. Fiber tends to slow the absorption of carbohydrates, for example, and then you want to have more protein and healthy fat, believe it or not, in your diet. Healthy fat and protein, the so-called Atkins approach, is in fact one of the best ways to lose weight and one of the best ways to lose belly fat. So in addition to of course, taking in and changing your diet, you need to exercise more. And that's, of course, your field, but you know that people need to do cardio exercise. They need to burn up more calories when they want to lose some weight. And the weight will go away from the belly as well as other areas. You want to stay hydrated. Now, we've got some other issues that we're showing here, such as not smoking, having less stress. I can't say that those directly affect belly fat, but certainly when you feel good about yourself and you're well hydrated, and you're healthy, and you've got adequate nutrition, you're going to be more likely and more successful in getting rid of that belly fat.
And see, Dr. Ellis has a successful clinic, as I mentioned to you before, the Rosebud Weight Loss Medical Clinic. And so this program is very, very successful. I was amazed at the success and the participation of his clients. And I felt that for this show and for the viewers in this region, that the success you've had, sir, is unparalleled. And I am so blessed and honored that you came here and shared this information. And once again, we will come and knocking at your door at some point saying, Dr. Ellis, can you come back and give us some more of that wonderful information that the viewers can take and apply right now, and then go down the road and develop, and then maybe give us some feedback. They'll call us up and tell us, and we'll give you the question, and maybe we'll have a show segment like that.
Be happy to.
It's been a pleasure, Dr. Ellis. So once again, I thank you for being here, sir. It means a lot to me, okay?
Same.
We'll be back. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Welcome back. I had an opportunity about a year ago at the request of a corporation in Washington, D.C., to reach out and sit down and discuss some healthy food choices with their staff. And so what we did is that we put together a food choice plan, not a meal plan, but a food choice plan based on the activity of the individuals, their family history. And so what we did is that we put together a 90-day plan, and out of the 90-day plan, there were several people who had some startling, remarkable results. It blew my mind away. So what I was so happy about is I went back and I reached out to some of those individuals, and one is our guest here today, and I want to introduce her. Her name is Asia Watkins. Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you as
And
well.
I'm so proud of you, as I told you over the year, of your success.
Thank you.
And so I know that when you came to that program, that meeting, that presentation that day, you had told me you were considering doing it, but that presentation gave you some details and helped lay out some choices that you could apply, and thus you've had the success transformation that you've had. So what I want to do is kind of walk through some of the things you used to do that I used to look at you and go, what are you doing? Okay. So let's talk with some of the things you wrote down earlier when we talked about some of the things you were doing.
Yes, mostly eating out and oversized portions, alcohol intake, my unbalanced meals, and missing meals. Like drinking alcohol during the week is a high calorie thing, and so when you're eating these large meals and the portions are way off, you got 3 scoops of macaroni and cheese on your plate, and then you're going to Pat Pat's and getting a 3-piece meal with the French fries and a large tea, then you know it definitely gets in, and then you see the effect, which is overweight. And that was your pattern.
Before you came to my presentation.
Yes.
That was your day-to-day pattern. Popeye's chicken after you got off work.
Going to happy hour.
Going to happy hour. Lots of times people told me that sometimes that was a way of rewarding themselves for getting through a stressful day.
No, not necessarily. Not when you're going to wake up the next day and then you got to work off those extra calories that you've ate and intake. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so now we know those 5 things, and so it's amazing that you can sit down and basically articulate and tell us. You can consciously say, "I remember those 5 bad things I did." Let's flip the script now. Let's talk about some of the 5 things you did to reverse it and improve.
I would say not eating out as much, and if I do, monitoring what I eat. Reducing the fried food intake is like a definitely life change. Like cutting out the fried foods helped me out a lot, as well as portion control and eating balanced meals, making sure I have a vegetable. I don't eat too many starches, but there are healthy starches that I learned to intake that were good for me, but not too much, and enjoy it, and you still get a good meal. And then also your protein as well. Of course, meat, that's where I go in on the meat, but I stay away and keep it lean, so that's helped me out a lot.
What about your water? You
Definitely, I do a detox water as well. That helps me. The detox water, it reduces what I eat. Pretty much, it gives curbs my appetite.
Fills your appetite.
That's what I was trying to say.
It fills you up.
Yes.
Because
yes,
often I tell people, before you have a meal, drink a glass of water.
Yes,
And
I
that
do
will
it
fill you.
usually about 30 minutes before I eat. I try to drink at least a bottle of water and then eat, and then drink another bottle of water. And I do room temperature usually.
So tell me this: have you seen better energy? Did you get better sleep as the weight came off?
Most definitely, and then it pushed me to want to do better. So I wanted to make sure I got into bed at a decent time, and then when I got up in the morning, making sure I have a good meal, and that starts you off really well in the day. You're energized and ready to go.
So did you start bringing food in, healthy meals, instead of going out for
Yes,
lunch
most definitely.
and
Snacks, pre-preparing my meals, that is the most important. Making sure you pre-prepare and making sure you have things available, especially snacks, because you get hungry during the day. And instead of going to grab a bag of chips, I have some granola, or I have some Cheerios on the side in a bag, and I eat it dry. So just being
do you
prepared.
have fruit sometimes for your snacks?
Fruit, of course,
Fruit's
yes.
okay?
I love to cut up my strawberries and have them already pre-bagged, as well as my
Good.
grapes.
Good.
Well, I'll keep an orange nearby. I'm not really an apple person, but I do keep fruit on standby.
Have you seen, real quick, have you seen the change in your economics, the price, the amount of money you're spending on groceries, things like that? I know you cut down on the restaurants, so that should have saved you some money.
Yes, definitely saves you some money. But I think you just have to be aware, and I always look at the sales ads. So you see what's on sale this week, and that's the fruit I'll be having that week, because strawberries are 2 for $5, oranges are on sale this week. So that's how I monitor. I keep track by going and looking at the sales ads and making sure that I'm aware of how much I'm spending. And then it saves you money as well if you're aware and you go and prepare.
And so what we want to do, we want her to have on the show to basically tell you what she did, because these suggestions and these ideas aren't complicated. They're very simple, but it takes sitting down, drawing up a plan, trying to figure out where you are right now and what you can do down the road. And so, Asia, once again, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
What
thank
we
you,
want to
thank
do at some point, maybe somewhere down the road, we may want you to come back on the show.
Okay.
And this time we'll bring your plates out.
Okay.
And we'll see the big
Yes.
portions, and I'm gonna bring some Popeye's chicken in here and say, "There's a chicken."
Don't tease me. Don't tease me, because I will eat it. I try to just stay away from Popeyes.
So, but this is great because we all have our bad foods. I mean, mine used to be the fried chicken, also, all that stuff. But you learn, and what you need to learn by watching this show and following this show is that we are people who decided to take back our health. Take back our health by eating healthy, by getting lots of rest. And so you will be able to look at this show, hear the success stories of the show, hear the information that we have, because Asia will be providing this information later on where you'll be able to get in touch with her, get in touch with me. So what we want to do, thank you once again, Asia.
No
Coming
problem.
on the show, and we'll be back.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Welcome back. As I said, that we would be reaching out to many professionals in our community to give us some insight on information that we need to know that affects our body internally, that we're not hearing on TV, we're not hearing in the newspapers, we're not hearing in the major medias. And so many individuals like myself feel left out, so to speak. So what we did, once again, we had such great response from Dr. Wanda Dyson in our earlier show that with some of the phone calls and emails that came in, we decided to reach back out to her. So once again, Dr. Dyson, hello.
How are you?
Hi, good to see you back. Good to see you
Good to
back.
be
So
here.
now, last time we talked about digestive wellness, right?
Digestive health.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so now this time was another topic you and I spoke about, and that's metabolic
typing.
Metabolic typing. Explain to the viewers how that works.
Metabolic typing is based on several different areas. It's based on psychological traits, physical traits, dietary traits, even our teeth are involved, and blood type, which is a little bit different, a little bit more sophisticated than Eat for Your Type.
Okay. Now, if someone wants to do this type of testing, is it something that's common? Every insurance covers it? You can go down to CVS and get it at one of those counters I see all the time. Drives me nuts.
No, you cannot get it at CVS. You cannot get it through your insurance company.
Okay.
But it is available online, and you can get it through my office.
Okay.
It's a very simple test. It's a computer-generated questionnaire. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes, and you'll get your specific diet. My personal experience was that I spent 31 years as a vegetarian, and I realized that there was some issue with being a vegetarian when many of my vegetarian friends were getting sick with breast cancer, and some of them even passed away. So I thought that maybe this is not all healthy for everyone, so there must be something more specific that's out there, and that's when I discovered metabolic typing and found that I was a protein type and that vegetarianism wasn't the absolute best diet for me.
Now, once you discovered that, how fast did you see a benefit? You know, a week, a month, a year?
Well, I spent so long as a vegetarian that it was very difficult to change.
Okay.
So it was a process to become a protein type and eat more protein than I was eating before. So, but once I made the change, I would say after a few weeks to a month, there was improvement.
And so some of your clients that you talked to and you've introduced to, they've had their weight loss, their health has improved, things like that, and so they're probably just ecstatic because they never thought about this approach and this approach having some sort of impact on them, because they're not aware of it. It's not what we call a traditional approach to weight loss.
It's a very non-traditional approach. And one thing that we say in metabolic typing is that one man's food is another man's poison. So if you recall the old Mercedes-Benz that used only diesel fuel, if you put regular fuel in that car, you would destroy the engine. And our bodies are somewhat like that as well. We need to put in the proper fuel for our particular body.
And so this is why, once again, I asked Dr. Dyson to come on the show, because the discussions that she and I had were just blowing my mind away, because I'm like, I want to do metabolic testing. I want to type it. I want to find out what mine is, because no one's ever done that in all the years of sports that I play. No one ever told me approach it from a metabolic standpoint. And I have several relatives I would love to introduce this to. And so this is why we wanted you to come on the show, so you could tell the fans and tell the viewers how they can get in touch with you, which you will know at the end of the show, that we'll have information on how to reach out to Dr. Dyson in her clinic and find out what you can do to be part of it, because she has done some very dynamic, successful work here. And once again, she is someone in our community that I felt deserved the recognition. And so we ask you once again, we thank you here once again, Doctor. And I will be calling you up shortly to say, can you come back once more time when you fit into your hectic schedule, because I know all the traveling that you're doing. But we would love you to come back, and we would love to, when the people call and when people tell us with the feedback and the email, tell us that they looked into it, we want to get that to you, so then you can tell us and reach out to them and let them know what is the process and what they're going to go through. You can kind of break the being scared of going into a different approach. Is that something you can do?
Perfect.
Okay, well.
Knowledge is power, as they say.
So I want to thank Dr. Dyson once again for finding the time to come out and be on the show. And I want to thank you, so we'll be back.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Welcome back. Last time we had this young lady on the TV show, we were very, very excited, very happy, and very beneficial to many of our fans as they wrote back to us and called us back and said they love that recipe for what we call coleslaw. So what we decided to do was reach out to Miss Helen Beard once again, and we've asked her to return to the show. Miss Beard.
Hi, Greg.
How are you?
I'm good.
And so we that coleslaw went over well in my neighborhood. Everybody
Outstanding.
loved it. And
I am so glad. Well, you know, I promised you a little something sweet, right?
And you know, I need something sweet for the sweetness, because you know what they say about me, okay? So what we need to do, what we like to do today is find out what you bought for us that's, once again, inexpensive, very healthy, taking something that's considered not healthy traditionally, but changing it and making it into a healthy meal.
That's
Helen,
right.
what you got for me?
Oh, we've got something yummy. I know you love bananas, so this time I brought bananas, but in a different little twist.
Okay.
It's not your typical banana nut bread. It is inspired by my mom's recipe, and she made the best banana nut bread. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So, you know, some people will say, can I have my cake and eat it too? Yeah, why would you have your cake and not eat it? Well, it's actually bread. So let's dive right in. I'm going to talk a little bit about the recipe, but in the interest of time, look at the website for all of the list of ingredients. And I'm going to go through just a few of them for the healthy makeovers and do something I bet your viewers have never seen before.
Which is?
We're going to actually make an egg substitute.
Oh, Lord.
Okay,
What you got?
so we've got agave. We're going to take a big bowl. You've got agave, which is going to be our sugar substitute. This has no white sugar in it at all.
Okay.
We're going to have a light olive oil that's going to replace the butter, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed oil. I mean, flax seeds, it's just actually flax seeds. Then we're going to have unsweetened applesauce. That's going to be the sweetness. 3 of the ripest bananas. Now, these aren't quite ready for a banana nut bread, so you'll wait till they get nice and spotty. That's the sweet spots. And then we're going to add whole wheat flour and oatmeal flour. Now, the oatmeal, as you know, it gives you all of that rich fiber, both soluble and non-soluble.
Okay, right.
And so we're going to make that on another segment. But today, let's make that egg substitute. So here it goes. So a lot of vegans already know this. So you just take 1 tablespoon of flax seeds, right?
All right.
But you're going to put it in a coffee grinder, right?
That's different.
Now, here's where it gets yummy. Just a 2-to-1 ratio will make, actually it's 3-to-1, so it's 3 tablespoons of water to 1 tablespoon of flax seeds. And you can use the dark ones, the light ones, it really doesn't matter. They both have the rich omegas in them, and you just hit the blender. So you're grinding the flax seeds, you're mixing the water with them in a same coffee grinder that you would make for your coffee.
Okay.
And this
is an egg substitute.
Your egg substitute. There's a few grinds in there that haven't been done. It doesn't look that great, but let me tell you, it mixes and tastes phenomenal. That's what I made, used to make in this. Now, the original recipe doesn't call for coconut, but I know you like a little toasted coconut. So with only 1 tablespoon of sprinkled coconut and the rich omegas that are found in walnuts, you've got a delicious sweet dessert that doesn't do anything to the glycemic index. We're just going to cut this. And the reason I put it in a square pan as opposed to the traditional loaf pan, you can cut them into smaller, that's it, portions.
Smaller portions. That's
Right.
something we're all worried about.
There you go.
We're concerned about that. So this is, once again, something that you can, there's something that's inexpensive, something you can take that basically is high in calories, high in sugar traditionally, and we've taken it and we've changed it dramatically. And we still have an excellent taste. You have an excellent food, and I'm going to try it as I usually do because I'm the host of the show, so I get to do stuff like this.
We hope that you will like it. Okay. So you can always accentuate it with some low-fat Greek yogurt as opposed to, that's another healthy swap for Greek yogurt instead of creme fraiche or instead of ice cream.
This is wonderful. It tastes good. And you know, everybody in the staff in the studio is loving this because they're going to be eating this up once we get off the camera. But once again, you have done something really, really, really wonderful. And we need this type of information out there in the community. And so many of you, stay tuned. Like I said, there'll be information at the end of the show on how to get in touch with Helen to find out more about her recipes. You'll also find us on our website. So once again, Helen, we want to thank you very much. And we look forward to having you on the show at some future time.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. So
See you
we'll
next
be
time.
right back. Welcome back. this show wouldn't be a show if we didn't include transformations of people we know and we've met across the years who've worked with us. And what we want to do on this show is really show you some basic exercises that you can do at home, because those days of, I don't have time, I can't afford a gym membership, those days are over, okay? These are the times when we have to start finding practical ways of exercising with some basic concepts that you can do at home. So I've invited our certified personal trainer, Ariel.
How are you?
How are you? How are you?
I'm great.
I'm glad to have you here. And we've had Miss Rochelle Ford here.
Yes.
Miss Rochelle here has decided she wants to be on our show throughout the entirety of our show over the summertime, and we're going to watch her transform with the help of Ariel, giving her some exercises that she's going to be doing when we're not around, because we will be checking up on her quite often. So, Ariel, let's give us some idea, you and Rochelle, and I'm just going to step back here a little bit, and let's see what we can do to put some exercises together for Rochelle to do after she leaves here, her homework assignment.
So to your point, the idea is to keep it pretty simple and basic, and you can do this anywhere. Yes. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is some slow motion jacks. I just want you to take your time, try to do 5 jacks.
Okay.
That's awesome. She's reaching all the way up. Pause for 1 second. What I want you to do this time, you can put your feet back together. I want you to give me the jump this time. You look pretty efficient at doing that. I want you to actually give me the full jump and make sure that you reach your arms as high as you possibly can.
Okay.
Give me 5. 1. That's 2. Awesome. That's 3. Perfect. And that's 5. Wonderful. So I'm not sure if you saw that, but you fully opened your core as you were reaching all the way up top. So definitely getting that cardio, raising your heart rate, which is always wonderful. So think about doing that for about 30 seconds. That wasn't too bad, only 5, but try to do about 30 seconds. You don't even think for 30 seconds. Right. So moving from there, I'm going to bring one prop. I think most people have a chair or something sturdy that you can lean against. So I'm going to have you do a squat right onto this chair. So think about sitting down. Pretty functional movement. We all need to do it. Take a half a step back. Widen your feet just a bit, slightly wider than the chair. There you are. So the idea, you're going to sit down, but you're just going to let your butt touch. So don't sit and rest. Tap it, come right back up. Give me 2. That's down. Perfect. One more time. Awesome. So I had you do 2 because I really want you to focus on staying as straight as you possibly can. So don't look at the ground. Look straight ahead. Remember, your shoulders follow your eyes. We want to keep your posture as erect as we can. Give me 2 more. Nice. Way to reach down, using those hands to kind of get you down and back up. Wonderful. Again, think about doing that for 30 seconds. So that was 2 moves. We got our slow-mo jacks. We got our squats. I'm going to have you do what we all know, push-ups. We're going to do a variation, so I'm not going to put you on the ground. You can always vary this based off your level and where you are. We're going to use the chair. So you're going to face this. You're going to hold onto these sides, and you're going to try to get as close to this chair as you can. I want you, again, to focus on keeping your core as tight as you can. So suck it in. Not that you have a whole lot too far.
Okay, here we go.
Step those feet back. You're on the tippy toes. Awesome. You're going as close as you can. Perfect. Give me one more.
Good job.
That's wonderful. Rest it out for a second. So I hope you saw her form. She was nice and tight. She held on. Core was tight. She was on her tippy toes, which is exactly what I wanted. So I want you to always think about trying to get as close as you possibly can, as opposed to just the little drop. Okay.
So now, Ariel, these types of exercises, how often should she be doing this? Should she be doing this for 30 minutes, 45 minutes?
So I think what's really important when you're a beginner is consistency. Not so much how long you do it, but staying consistent and doing it regularly. So my suggestion would be maybe 3 days a week, shooting for, again, 30 seconds. I'm going to give you 5 moves. We've done 3, 30 seconds of each of these movements. Maybe we rotate through that 3 times.
I see. Okay.
And so this is what you're going to do now, because I know you've committed to this and you've come a long way.
Yes, I have committed to this.
And so what we want to do, we want to thank Ariel, and we're going to ask you to come back because we have someone else that we have reached out to and has decided to be part of our program.
Wonderful.
And we're going to use these examples, and these individuals are going to be shining examples for the community and for our fans on how to improve their health. So we'll be back. Thank you. That's our show for today. If you want to see this episode, go to our website, www.foodforfuel.org. I'd like to thank our guests, all the experts. It was truly an educational experience. Very good information. If you want to get in touch with anybody that's been on our show, all you have to do is stay tuned for the show as it concludes, and that information will be provided to you. Once again, thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Rotherfield. It's your turn. Good luck. Take back your health.